Here's a mock-up of the engine. I just finished installing the rear wheel. I did the front wheel yesterday, and the spaces that I'm using are just nuts. I know it has to have a nut inside on the outside because it's an open mounting point. And here I have a nut, the lock washers and spacers, lock washers, and a nut over here on the outside. But it's pretty good. The engine that I'm going to be using is that one. Looks like it's going to be fitting just right. The tire, I'm going to have to be careful with it because it's a little close to the gas tank. But overall, it's really good. The space on the top is really good. And it looks like I'm going to be able to use one of the slots from the factory. I'm not going to have to drill, so I'm really happy about that. And looks like that will be the spot where the chain will be aligned the best. Kind of hard to tell from here, but from playing with it, this is the best way that I could get it. So looking forward to riding this little thing. Should be fun. I have a concern about this tire being a little bit too out of round. I know I'm not going to be going too fast, but look how it jumps. The rim is perfectly even, perfectly straight. But if you look at the tire, you see it jumping around. And then it makes the whole little bike move. The one on the back is not like that. The one on the back is pretty good. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. And this one looks to be a little bit better. Oops. It moves a little bit, but nowhere near as much as the one I have on the house. This is the carburetor for the GX160. It was very, very clean. Had a little bit of dirt inside, but I cleaned it all up. And it was very, very, very clean. So I'm happy with it. The float, everything looks good. And I sprayed it all over. All the little holes and stuff. Make sure, you know, it's open. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to go with it. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gas tank off and empty it. To make sure I remove all the trash from it, because there's a little trash inside the gas tank. Alright, here's my little setup for the throttle. This is a Honda GX160. For some reason, when I would turn it on, it would not want to idle on the lower RPM, and it was revving up quite a bit. So I added a spring. I drilled a little hole, and I added a spring, and I connected with a wire to this bolt. So now it springs back. As soon as I move it a little bit, it springs back. Before, it will stay forward. I also, this thing, when I was moving the throttle linkage, it would not give it full throttle. This thing over here would not reach to the other end. See how when that one hits now? It's kind of hard to see. Sorry about that. Okay, see how now it's hitting full throttle? Before, it was not hitting full throttle when I was moving this lever. There it goes, focus. So what I did for that is that this little spring which connects the governor arm, the spring was over here and needed more tension. So what I ended up doing is drilled a little hole, an extra hole. Okay, focus. All right. I drilled a little hole on the arm so the spring has more tension. So now when I move this, I have full throttle for the throttle, as you can see right over there from the close. Here's the final setup. have a spring holding up into this bolt, and I added the extra spring here to the little existing hole for the muffler assembly. So now when I move the throttle, it returns nice and right away, which is exactly what I wanted. Here's the engine idling. I had to adjust the idle because it was a little too low, but now it's running really good and the throttle is working. I am so glad this is working. Sounds nice and smooth too. And as soon as I let go of the throttle, it comes right back. Okay, I'm in the process of doing the little seat for the little mini bike. The foam, I got it from a cushion. Picked up from the trash. I tried to carve it. I know it's nowhere near perfect, but I wanted to give it the little loop over here in the bottom, on the back, like they came originally with. The sides will be white and the upper part will be black. I'm using also to even out the cuts. I'm using this thing over here. That should make it nice and even. Again, this is going to be the top, and this is going to be the side, and the seat is already cut over there. My mother's going to be helping me sew it because I don't know how to sew. And this over here, the little foam thing, it's about 1/4 of an inch or so, will be used as backing to be able to do the little lines that will be going across the top of the seat. Anyway, let me go ahead and have my mother help me sew it. Hopefully it's gonna come out okay. Alright, today I'm working on finishing up the seat on the mini bike. My mother actually helped me sew the seat a little bit, and it took way longer than I expected this little seat to do. I guess the sewing machine that we were using was not helping very much. But anyway, it's my first time also sewing something this thick, so it gave us a very hard time. The way we're able to do the little curve on it is that the cut on the side has an angle. As you can see, a little curve, and that's what's going to show on the curve for the little seat. That's how the original seat was, so I wanted to make it, you know, similar to the original seat. It's two-tone, black on the top and white on the sides. This is the base. I just cut a piece of wood. I epoxy the steel nuts on it. Let's see if I can focus. Okay, there it is. So it will not come off. And this is the top part. This was going to be in the bottom. So when I put the screws on, it's going to tighten up the wood. Cutting the foam gave me a little bit of a hard time because it was not cutting perfectly straight, but it's perfectly fine. The top came out pretty rough, but I'm using this to even it out. Plus, I'll be compressing. This will be compressed when I'm pulling it, when I'm stapling it to the seat. So let's see. Let me go ahead and start stapling it and see how it comes out. This is the bracket that I built. The welds are pretty crappy. My little machine is flux core, so anyway, just making excuses, but those will very pretty. I welded this bolt onto this half-inch square steel, and then I have two tabs here, and those are like 16 holes from the engine. So I just figure out what would be the best place to weld them, based on where the clutch sits. Okay, and then the brake band, this is gonna have a brake band. Clutch goes like that, this goes on the stud. The brake cable will come through here, and it has a smaller hole in the center and a thicker hole in the outside, so that the brake cable can sit inside the little thing. And then once it pulls this, that's what's going to be activating the brake. Alright, this is going to be the final setup for the brakes. The way I had it before, when I had it the other way around, instead of pulling this way, right now the way I have the cable coming in through here, going underneath the bolt, and I have two little washers just to help it prevent, you know, the little head, so the cable will move, and then it pulls like this. Since it's rotating like that, somehow it helps it to be able to stop 100% better. The other way, the way I had it, it was pulling, it was attached, this was attached over here, and then this was over here, so it would pull it this way, and it was against the rotation. It was pulling this way, so it going against the rotation of the chain. And so for some reason, somehow, it just did not want to stop well at all. Once I changed it and I adjusted it to make sure it was nice and tight, I tried it like this, and my goodness, it's so much better. So if you guys want to try this setup, I would recommend this setup way better than the other way I had it originally. I'll go ahead and put a picture of the way it was originally, and this will be the final setup for the brakes. So I'm glad I was able to work it out.